This is the Agribusiness Report. I'm Tony St. James. We're joined today by Berrye Worsham. Berrye is President, CEO, Cotton Incorporated. Great to see you.
Thanks, Tony. Nice to be here.
Let's talk about the meeting here in New Orleans, Cotton Incorporated, Cotton Board. It's a joint meeting. Is this an annual meeting?
Yes, this is our meeting where we discuss with the stakeholders, both the producers and importers, what we accomplished in the past year, and we look at it by sort of overall, but also we go into a lot of detail in the various committees so that the board understands what we're working on and what we think the main priorities of the upcoming year will be.
Now, last year, and it was no surprise, coming off of some tough years, you ran into some tough a budget crunch, if you will, just not as much money coming in.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we actually will have a budget $13 million more than we will have next year. But, we're not the only agricultural organization that's affecting, tough budget. So really, rather than kind of mope about the fact that budget's down, we decided to really take a hard look at prioritization, try to develop, put more effort behind fewer projects, look where we had perhaps the biggest bang for the buck, and really one of our keys here was focus and prioritization.
So as you focus, technology, is that one area of focus?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the critical things we need in the cotton market globally is obviously to try to stem the loss in market share to some of the cheap synthetics. And you can promote your way out of part of that, through just general advertising, but at the same time you have to support that with new products in the market. And those new products today, consumers want technologies that do things like moisture management. They want to have products that maybe are water resistant in some cases or wrinkle resistant, whatever the technologies they require. We have to have those that will be adaptable for cotton products. So pushing that in the market, development and the implementation has been a key priority for us over the past couple of years.
Obviously, Activewear is a huge and growing segment. Is cotton getting its message told?
Yes, we're doing this in a number of ways. This past year, we actually had two, I believe, Activewear. They're like a mini conference. They were taking top people from some of the Activewear companies. We brought them to our headquarters in North Carolina. We showed them new fabric developments with cotton. Some cases it may have been cotton blends, but in most all cases there would be products that to this point had no cotton. We're showing them what you can do with cotton. So that's one way. We're doing more promotion behind that in terms of identifying, showing active type wear products. At the same time, we're trying to come up with innovative ways to amplify our message. We don't have enough money to do what Coca-Cola and McDonald's do in terms of the promotion budgets they have. So one of the things we looked at is why not get some elite runners, bring them to our office, talk to them about cotton opportunities, and if we can convince them, maybe they can convince other people, since runners look to the top of the chain, so to speak, to see what they're wearing and what they're doing.
When you're developing, and when I say this, I kind of already know the answer, but developing just new fabrics, and it's amazing, it's not one or two.
No, we probably develop well over 100 new fabrics per year. And obviously they have a shelf life of more than 1 year. So in many cases, companies look at our archives for things we've done, 5, 10 years ago. So there's just a huge library of fabrics. But one of the things that's different today is more and more fabrics have some technology embedded into it, like a trans-dry or something we call wicking windows or storm. And in many cases today, what we're doing is we're probably doing more blended fabrics than we used to. And the reason for that is twofold. Number one, it does help cotton in some markets where we don't have the performance we need. And the second reason is, in many cases, one of the trends that's been negative for all of us has been this lighter weight fabrics. And so in some cases, we need the synthetics for some strength. We can make products that perform. But you have to look at both 100% cotton products and cotton blends. That's just the nature of the beast today.
One of the other natures of the beast, I guess you could say, is this move towards sustainability and those wondering what's behind what I'm eating, what I'm wearing. Has that been a big focus as well?
Sustainability used to be a line item in our budget. Maybe in each area had a little line item called sustainability. We took it out because sustainability is just embedded in every single thing we do, from the promotion side, everything in terms of product development. If you develop a technology today that, say, a finish used in cotton, that finish has to be environmentally friendly or it will not see the light of day. So many technologies that have already been out there, wrinkle-resistant type technologies or moisture management technologies, we had to reinvent to make sure that they were sustainable from a longevity point of view, that some retailer and brand wasn't going to kick out the technology. At the same time, we have to communicate all the wonderful things that the growers have been doing over these past decades to improve their agricultural footprint, things like just the massive yield increases, reducing the amount of water per unit of cotton produced, more efficiencies in terms of energy use and nitrogen use and other things. And we have metrics to support that, to make the case that U.S. cotton is the most responsibly produced cotton in the world. So it's not just at the agricultural side or the processing side, it's all the way through, and it's embedded in everything we do today.
That's a great story, but how do you get it told? How do you get it out to those who don't know?
Well, it's again a number of ways. We were looking at some statistics actually at this meeting. I think we saw that just one of our divisions alone had something like 700 meetings this past year, the division with companies all around the world. And it was commented today that almost every single meeting, the discussion about sustainability comes up. It doesn't necessarily come up from us, but the accounts want to know what's happening there. So we have that's one way we do it. We provide them materials. Second way, we have a website. We have Cotton Leads. We talk about the Cotton Leads website called cottonleads.com, I believe it is. It can tell you a lot about what's happening with U.S. cotton. We have seminars. We have video releases. We put out PR. So it's just a multitude of things to get that message across. And I will say that in these last several years, if you go to an account internationally and talk about U.S. cotton, they know that that's among the best in the world now. And so that's a battle that I think we're doing a pretty good job of getting that message out to the stakeholders throughout the world, really.
But there's also those who are, I guess, intent on spreading misinformation, and somehow they become credible. How do you counter that?
Well, in the past, I think we have always tried to take more of a I won't call it a passive approach, but in some cases it didn't look like it was worth fighting a particular battle of this or that. But we've changed our attitude about that. We've decided that when somebody attacks cotton, we're coming right back after them with it, because we are armed with facts. It could be everything from a Food Babe article attacking cottonseed oil, which we within 24 hours had a very sharp response. And fortunately, that response got picked up. I forgot the number, but it was like 400,000 views. And we got a lot of kudos from people who saw our response, saying, it's about time that somebody put that particular article in the right context. So if somebody's going to criticize cotton, we're going to come back at them, because we do have facts, and there's so much misinformation out there that we can't afford just to let that go.
What's the future look like? I mean, again, we've seen some tough times, tighten the belt. Are you optimistic?
Yes. You always have to think that, when you're in the business as long as I've been, you understand that one of the toughest parts of predicting this business in the sort of the fashion apparel industry, which is where 80% of the cotton that we grow around the world is going to end up in clothing. And you have these big long-term swings. We had a big swing to natural fibers, and for a long period of time, then the synthetics got hot, they got cheap, so there's been sort of an overdone of the synthetics. And now we're beginning to see interest back in the cotton in many of these areas. Why? Because fashion is about something different, and cotton hadn't been in some of these markets for a while. So if we can provide the technology and the products, there's a market that we can capture. And so I am optimistic that if we could just get a little stronger overall economic growth around the world to boost the entire business, that cotton can begin to claw back some of that share and get our demand growing to the point where we can produce some more cotton in the U.S. without driving the price down.
Berrye, it's always great to see you. Thanks for your work. Keep it up.
Thanks, Tony. Anytime.